Hello and welcome to Legislative Report. I'm State Representative Jesse Topper of the 78th District in Bedford, Fulton, and Franklin counties. On today's program, I'd like to highlight a local business, MDL Manufacturing in Bedford. The company specializes in engineering and manufacturing hardware for various sectors, including defense and medical. Recently, I invited Speaker of the House, Representative Mike Turzai, to join me on a tour of MDL. We heard about the challenges and rewards of running a manufacturing business in Pennsylvania. Join us now as we learn more about MDL manufacturing.
Our business, Mike and Jesse, has been primarily military work through about the first 20 years of the business. We're in our 27th year now, and we were 80% military. Well, that kind of flip-flopped about the last 5 years ago because of the changes that we've seen in defense spending and the wind down in the war. But these are some of the parts that we've done, and we pride ourselves on technology. We really do. We try to stay at the leading edge of technology because that's going to drive us. That's going to drive us to be more competitive and to be more advanced, to be able to do the best work. But some of the things that we've done, simple things like tailgates for trucks or stowage boxes. Some of the more advanced products that we've made, Mike, are a titanium exhaust system for the expeditionary fighting vehicle. And we talked a little bit about that. Congress unfortunately chopped that program. That was going to be one of the big projects for us here in Bedford. We're building components for this expeditionary fighting vehicle. And it's one of the reasons that we moved to Bedford was to support that program. And things change, and we have to stay diverse, and we have to be ready for the unexpected because things don't always go our way in life. We were expecting that project to be our home run, but hey, you know, you keep on trucking. You roll with the punches and you keep going. One of the projects that was exciting for us, we worked with Penn State, and they developed a laser welding process to make Navy doors. And this is a laser welded panel, and we helped them improve on that process, which was exciting for us. They kind of developed the initial laser welding process. We helped them improve on it, and what we did is we were able to have them alternate welds to control distortion. So we welded a couple of welds on one side, flipped it over, weld a couple of welds, flip it back over, weld a couple of welds. And that's what we really enjoy and we feel we're good at, is helping to improve manufacturing processes. When somebody develops a process like Penn State did with the Navy door, we help to improve on it.
Oh, that's great.
We'll show you one of our projects that we're building right now. And these are armor grills for the tracked howitzer. The military has a program now where they're going to produce up to 350, and they don't have all the money allocated for those, but they're going to produce up to 350 tracked howitzer vehicles. And you know what a howitzer gun is?
Yeah, I do.
In the past, that gun's typically been trailered. It's on a big trailer, but they want to make it self-propelled on a chassis.
On a chassis for the vehicle.
On a propelled, like a tank chassis. And these are some components. This is an armor intake grill that BAE has engineered, and they're producing the tracked howitzers, and we're subcontracting through BAE. But this is an armor grill and armor steel here, and it's formed and machined and then welded together as an assembly. And then Bruce is assembling some of the honeycomb structure to it. And this honeycomb is also laser welded. We don't do this part, but we subcontract this out and purchase
When
it.
you say laser, I do know welding. I mean, I don't know how to do welding, but I know what it does, and I understand the concept of lasers. But what do you mean by laser welding?
They, instead of using the laser to cut metal,
Yeah.
they use it to join pieces together.
Oh.
So if that sample that I showed you, the laser beam actually fused those pieces,
seams.
those seams together.
Yeah.
That was done by a laser beam.
And you have folks that do that.
We did that here. Yeah, yes.
Yeah, you do that. And your background was welding.
Yeah, yeah.
Do you know
I'm a
how-
welder by trade.
Yeah. Do you know how to do this laser welding?
No, I'm not
You have-
smart
you have
enough.
the
I'm
people
not
that do
smart enough to do that.
Now, the kids that are coming out of the tech centers that you're
Yeah.
employing as welders, is that something you train them to do, or are they getting taught that at the tech centers?
No.
That's a
no.
specialized welding
Yeah.
skill set.
Yeah, generally, we'll get kids in with some experience and train them, and we like to do that because we feel that if they learn their skills here, they'll probably better suit our needs.
Right.
Instead of maybe having other habits, good or bad habits. But we enjoy. I'm a VOTech graduate myself. I came out of VOTech in Westmoreland County.
Yeah.
And Westmoreland County Community College. So I've hired VOTech kids. My first employee was a VOTech welding graduate.
And you have a great relationship with the Bedford Tech Center here.
Yeah, yeah.
A lot of
and they
work
produce,
is done between.
produce,
Yeah.
yeah, great kids coming out of there.
Great.
Yeah. A company called Defiance Metal Products. They're a large company with 3 or 4 plants across the U.S. They built this to subcontract for JLG back in 1999. This building was built. 2000, when 9/11 hit, JLG, the economy slowed down. They closed this plant in 2003, and we bought it at auction in 2003.
Wow.
And we moved our headquarters here in 2005 from Maryland,
Wow.
from Southern Maryland.
Oh, that's great.
And like I mentioned to you before, to come back to Pennsylvania, and
Yeah.
just happy to be back. And I kind of got lucky in picking such a wonderful community like Bedford County. I got lucky there. I didn't really know a whole lot about the county, but my kids love it here.
Yeah.
It's a great place to raise kids, and
And you get a good workforce.
very good work.
Yeah.
The people create the company. We built this anti-IED box for Letterkenny Army
Yeah.
Depot in 2007 and 2008, and they awarded us the Supplier of the Year for supplying 17,000 of these kits
Wow.
to Letterkenny, and eventually they went over into theater in Iraq and Afghanistan.
Has
And
to
that
give
was
you guys
quite
a lot
an
of
honor.
pride too.
That was
Yeah.
quite an
to have
honor.
those
my
things
God,
over
yes,
there.
yeah.
To our workforce, and
And you've done components on all these.
yeah. So like that box on the back of the vehicle is this
up
box.
there.
Yeah. And now our largest customer is JLG, but we're seeing military come back a little bit. We're seeing things with BAE pick up, and we've had trouble breaking that 50 employee threshold. And that's really what we're focusing on now, is growing the company. We're putting an additional in the building. And we've struggled breaking that 50 employee. I'm not quite sure why, but it's really sales driven.
Yeah.
It's getting out there and aggressively driving sales. And we have a regular group now that meets weekly and that focuses on sales. We have a team of 6 that we meet weekly and try to discuss ways to drive sales and get better at it. And diversity is the key for us, for MDL. It's staying diverse, having a diverse customer base, having a lot of different customers that
Yeah.
we do work for.
Different silos.
Yeah.
How'd you know what equipment to buy? Like, what's this?
This is a large machining center, so what this enables us to do are larger parts, and it also can rotate the part as we're machining it. So it has a couple of capabilities that some of the other milling machines don't have. And we recently purchased a 20-foot milling machine to help us with some of our oil and gas customers. And with JLG, JLG has some large parts that are up to 20 feet long. So that's been kind of another direction for us to go bigger. So this is a machine that we just got this year, and it's a 20-foot milling machine. We can hold.
You say mill, and I know milling, but it's actually taking the metal and fitting it to the description that you need to get it to, or no?
Yeah. So milling, generally you'll do blocks of steel.
Yeah.
And you'll machine that block of steel down and fashion it into a part.
Okay.
Where laser cutting or plasma cutting, we're taking flat sheets.
Yeah.
And we're cutting out shapes, two-dimensional. Milling's more of a three-dimensional operation where we're taking a block of something or a plate and we're drilling it and then machining it and fashioning it into a part, like an aircraft wing or something like that.
Yeah. What's this? Like, what is this?
This is a fixture plate that we are setting up to mill some JLG side plates. And the side plates are 18 feet long, and it's the largest lift in the world that they're producing. It'll go up 440 feet. Imagine being 44 stories.
Yeah.
On a little basket.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow. Now, how much is this particular piece of machinery? What are you looking at?
About $750,000. Yeah, and we cut out the concrete. We dig the pit out. I personally designed the way I'm going to put it in here because I wanted it to be lower, so it was less fatigue, mainly less fatigue on the operators, where they didn't have to climb up in the machine, and where less chance of them hurting, right. Of an injury.
Yeah. Oh my God, I get it.
I learned how to. The first one down there we put in 2007, and I learned how to do it wrong on that machine. So the second one I put down in, and the third one I put down in. So I have to, sometimes you learn how to do it wrong before you do it right. And, most of the parts that we produce here are either laser cut or plasma cut or saw cut. So these operations, plasma and saw cutting and laser cutting, they're going to get moved into the addition, and we're going to call that pre-processing. We'll bring all the big steel plates and bars into the new building. We'll call that our pre-processing plant.
When is the new building going to be done?
We're starting to pour concrete in September, so about November, December, we'll have her pretty much all the way done. I'm self-funding some of the building, like the concrete, so I've got to build up and save some money and then invest it in the building. So I'm doing that on a phased approach. I'm trying to keep my debt low, so I'm self-funding a lot of the building. All the concrete work and the site work, I'm just paying for that.
We're trying to keep our debt low too.
Yeah.
This is kind of the start of the operation where we bring in plates of material and they're laser cut, and what we've tried to do is automate more. Now we can put material in the rack and have the machine load the material and cut the material. Here's a good example, Mike. What we'll do is we'll load many sheets of material in the tower, and the operator will program the computer, tell it what sheet of material to get, when to get it, and what to cut on it.
Yeah.
And it's made us more efficient, of course.
Do you have tech support for the computer programs in-house?
A little bit in-house. We do all our programming in-house, but we have outside help. We use Pinnacle computers for our networking and IT.
Because I would assume if those computers went down, that would make a big impact.
Pinnacle is here. Do you remember Andy Shoemaker? Best computer IT guy. We really miss Andy. But they've hired another great guy, and we use Mark Zanka. Yeah. So supporting local businesses.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's a big deal.
But this is an Italian brand, and this is a Japanese brand of machine. Not a whole lot of American machine builders left. That needs to change.
I know that needs to, yeah.
A guy by the name of Gene Haas started building milling machines out in California back in the 80s, and he's become one of the world's largest machine tool builders in California in the 80s and 90s and 2000, and builds more milling machines than anybody else in the world. So it can be done. We can do it here in the U.S.
Yeah.
It can be done. And you know, we have the education, we have the infrastructure, we have the people. It's just, you know, it's getting government to help us, and just. So, yeah, laser cutting and saw cutting. So this is a laser cutter. And go ahead and poke your head in there. And what we try to do when we're cutting out parts, we try to nest them in as close as we can get them, and utilize as much of the material as we can, be as efficient as possible. And
No, I see it.
And-
Just look at.
The computer's controlling that.
Yeah.
Someone's at the computer, they're giving it the specs.
yeah, and here we can see the nest sheet up on the computer, and we can see, yeah, you can see pretty good material utilization there. There's not a whole lot.
No,
of
that's not a lot. Yeah.
And that's what we're always striving for, is to get the greatest utilization and at the lowest overall cost. And that means we're going to be competitive against the guy across town or across the state.
Yeah.
How about the 2-year tech programs? Are those growing in the industry as people need more of a workforce that's ready to go quicker?
I think they're kind of flat. I think they're kind of flatlined, and I don't know a whole lot about it, but they're a valuable resource, like Penn William College,
Yeah.
Thaddeus Stevens
Yeah.
College. Those, we need more of those. We really do. And manufacturing, if I could say anything about manufacturing, is it's turning into a white-collar job, what I believe. And I'm trying to transition it into more of a white-collar job, that we need college graduates in manufacturing. And almost every machine in this building uses a computer nowadays.
And you gotta have some know-how.
Yeah. And I was at a small manufacturing plant in Donegal, or off Donegal Road in Greensburg. This guy had painted floors, had skylights, he had plants in his shop, and it was about a third. It was only maybe 10,000 square feet. This building's about 60,000 square feet. But he wanted to create something. And when we pulled up to it, I'm like, is this a restaurant? Are we going to lunch now? It looked like a restaurant. But if you look at Europe, you look at those guys in Europe, they're in lab coats. You know, some of them have collared shirts on. And that's what I see manufacturing transitioning to more of a white-collar crime. It's not the blue-collar job that our fathers worked at. We try to automate and eliminate operator fatigue. Here we built this little magnetic lifter, and Earl only weighs about as much as that part does, so we don't want him lifting that part.
Yeah.
And that used to be a 2-person job, so we just got together, pulled our heads together, designed that little lifter, and
it's a safety tool.
very safe.
Huge.
And now, you know, and we used to do that with 2 guys lifting those plates up all day long.
Wow.
We're always looking at ways to, just like every other company out there, and you have to stay competitive.
Yeah.
If you don't, when a recession hits, you're going to be one of the guys that you know, go out of business during that recession, like we had in 2008, 2009.
Plus, it's safety. You obviously care a lot about the safety of your employees.
And if we keep our insurance rates low and keep our people working, we're going to be more profitable. Plus, they're going to want to come to work every day instead of working in a job that isn't safe. And we have to have a guy first we get it off the truck and we put it into our rack and inventory, and we have a guy on a forklift that does that. And then when we want to put it on the laser, we have a guy come over and sort through it again, pick it up and maybe move other skids out of the way, and then bring it over onto the laser. But we're going to automate this whole system, and it's called a Rivers system. It's made by Mitsubishi Lasers. But all this will be automated. If you were to come here next year at this time, this will be it'll be in the new building, and it'll be completely automated and computer controlled. And
$2 million.
$2 million system. And you'll be able to hook more lasers up to it also. We'll have 2 hooked up with it initially, but it could grow. We could add 2 more a couple years down the road, and then we could add 2 more after that. We can hook up to 8 lasers on this system. 8 laser cutters. So we need to get that word out to companies that we're having this automated system.
That you're moving to that level.
I have a couple of guys installing crane rails. We're going to put a crane in that first bay, and we're going to move our plasma cutting and saw cutting in the first bay, and then our laser cutting will get moved out here. So we'll minimize a lot of the handling of material and having to move material deep in the building here. Like the saw department now is tucked back in that corner. We have to get those bars all the way down around in there. Now he'll load it right off the truck. It'll go right onto the saw, or right onto his rack at the saw department, and just any way to become more efficient.
Is this your vision?
Yeah.
You're just saying, this is what I need.
Yeah. And we're again trying to find ways to get out of that 50 employee threshold to grow to 100 employees. One of the requirements of our MELF loan is that we have to grow to 75 employees in 3 years. So we're really focusing on that and trying to get to that 75 employees. And the economy is still, it's competitive.
It hasn't improved, but it's not churned.
Yeah, I think we're still kind of flat.
Yeah.
Even though we saw, 3.2% GDP in the second quarter.
Yeah.
I'm not sure, I don't know what industries that we're seeing that GDP growth in. Yeah, the first quarter was about 2.5, second quarter 3.2, but I think we're going to see a drop off in the third quarter GDP nationally. I think we're going to see that go down. Here we see one of the armor grills in its raw state, Mike. So we designed and built some fixturing to build these things. And we design and build all of our fixturing in-house and use the expertise of our employees to really become efficient at jobs like this.
That's great.
And
do you do the painting in-house, Doug?
Yeah, we do the painting in-house also. And this was a very complex part for BAE, and it has to be perfect. It has to be right. If it's not, then BAE's going to go, they can easily take their business somewhere else. BAE is British Aerospace and Engineering, one of the world's largest defense contractors.
Wow. You have their work. You have their work.
Yeah.
That's a big deal.
Yeah, we build this component, and we also build this component for BAE. And this is a winch plate that goes into a military tracked reconnaissance vehicle. It's kind of like a large tow truck, just a big tow truck that if a tank got stuck, this guy would come in, pull it out of the mud, or it could replace the transmission or the engine. But this is the winch plate that holds the winch, where the cable comes down and hooks the vehicle and pulls it out.
Boy, is that great. Boy, that's amazing.
And we've been building these for about 3 years. Business is really being at the right place at the right time, talking to the right people, and being lucky. It really is.
And saying, I can do that, get us in the game.
Yeah. I mean, even Microsoft, they were smart guys, right?
Yeah.
But Mom's on the board of the Red Cross with the IBM CEO, and Bill Gates met him, and it's being lucky in life, and that was the creation of Microsoft.
Yeah. I did watch that movie.
Did you?
I don't know how, what the deep, they did that TV movie about
Bill Gates?
Jobs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here's our machining area, and this is where you asked about machining. So here's where we take a large block of metal. This is aluminum in this case, could be titanium, could be steel. And we take that block and we set up the milling machine. And you can see the cutters up here.
Yeah.
And all the different types of bits and drills and cutters. And it comes down and it's, hi Bill, how you doing? You want to give us a demonstration today? So it's running. So Bill's taking that block of aluminum. And how many setups do you have, Bill? How many?
2 over here and 2 over there.
Okay. So he's got 2 setups in this machine. And your first setup's just clamping the big block in?
Yeah.
Okay.
Down like that. Then it goes like to this.
Okay, then it gets mounted on this fixture plate?
Yeah.
Okay. And then
it comes out and looks like this.
okay, that's when it comes out. So it goes in like that, comes out like that. And
Here's the finished part.
finished part.
Wow. Who's this going to?
That's another BAE part, or
BAE?
maybe General Dynamics?
Yeah,
BAE, yeah. And Bill, can you open the door there?
yeah.
So here you can kind of see the cutter going in. Right now it's effectively cutting air. We don't like to see that too much, but quality and delivery are so important for us, and that's what drives our business. If we're above 99% on-time delivery and quality,
And
quality,
quality.
then our customers are going to come back to us. But Volvo came into us about 3 years ago, and they did a site survey, and they said, you know what, MDL, you look like a great company, but you're not ready for Volvo business yet. And so I asked them why. They're like, your organization's just not quite set up to Volvo standards, and you're not ISO 14001, which is the environmental certification. So those are things that we focused on. We focused on becoming a better organization, being managed better, and raising our quality, raising our on-time delivery. And this week, we will get our ISO 14001 environmental certification.
That's all the time we have for today's program. I'm Representative Jesse Topper. If you have comments or questions about any state matter, please contact me at my local office or through my website. That information will be shown in a moment. Thanks for watching, and please join me next time for Legislative Report.